These are the spectacular views out over the Mediterranean from the south coast of Malta. But just a little bit inland from here is a very strange phenomenon. One, in fact, that people have been wondering about and speculating about for many, many years now. So one strange anomaly of Malta are the Cat-Ruts, and here they are. This is the area called Clapham Junction. And you can see how the ruts are all cut into the rock. Now, the first thing you think is, well, obviously they used to run carts up here. But not so sure, or not so quick. But as you can see, okay, this is a real wide area, and you can also see that they will turn off. That's why it's called Clapham Junction, because there's like points and they go off in different directions. Well, the height of the ruts, the depths of the ruts really, but the height of the central area changes all the time. So that would mean that the wheels would have to be, in some cases, really big, so that the central area went over the rocks. And also the gauge seems to change. This is one particularly long, straight track that seems to be pretty even on both sides, and there are different track ruts running off from each side as well, showing the sort of Clapham Junction design. And also in this area, significantly, there was a Phoenician tomb cut through the rocks, because you could see that the ruts started at one end and ended at the other end of the tomb, and as the Phoenicians were from around the 7th century AD, then the ruts were obviously from before that date. There's other evidence as well on the island at a place called Borgin Nadur, which is a Bronze Age village, where a cart rut runs up to the village wall and then it avoids the bastion. So the cart rut actually goes round the wall, suggesting that the cart rut was put there in place after the village had been built. So if we're looking at 1500 BC for the Bronze Age village, then we can say the cart ruts were built sometime after 1500 BC and before 700 AD. So that gives it to at least a 2000 year time span. And of course it wouldn't have been the temple builders who formed the cart ruts, because they had abandoned the island at least 1000 years before this. And this goes to disprove the theory that the ruts were formed by vehicles transporting goods to the temples. But transportation of goods is still a possibility. At one point, a rut runs straight towards a cliff and ends right on the cliff as if it fell off into the sea. But below there's a cave, so maybe there was the items were stored in the cave, delivered by sea to that particular cave, and then the ruts above would have been where a vehicle would have collected by rope any items that have been hitched up there. So what type of vehicle could they have been that could have caused these deep cart ruts, and which are actually all over the island? The grooves differ slightly because of the wear and tear of depending on which wheels would have been used. They would have had to have been fixed extremely lightly as to allow the movement within the cart ruts, other than just being pulled off. Most of the ruts seem to be formed into a kind of a V shape, with the inner points measuring across around 7 centimetres, and the top surface about up to 60 centimetres. But the gauge, which is very strange, is between each pair is about 1.41 metres, and this is only 3 centimetres less than our standard gauge railway today. But the cart ruts of Malta, although they're a study in their own right, with so many of these intriguing pairs of grooves to be found right around the island. But of course it's possible that we'll never know the the whole truth about these now intriguing mysteries from the past. So if you enjoyed the video, please do click on subscribe and also on the little bell to be informed of future videos. That really does help the channel. So thanks loads and see you soon.